With the crazy swings the market's had the last couple of days, the absolute nuking that we have all experienced, lots of your positions may be out of range. Bitcoin down to $69,000. Ethereum here at $2,100. Nice little recovery from when it got down to $1,700. Hopefully you bought that dip, boys. I know Jake did. I bought that dip on Bitcoin. Jake bought that Ethereum dip. But the problem with this is a lot of us might have got stuck out of range. Like this pool right here, sitting on a nice $240 earned, which is nice, but we're out of range. And as you can see right here, when I open this up, price in USDC, I went out of range at 2,700. So if I were to rebalance now, I'm gonna be facing a lot of impermanent loss, and it's gonna get very hard to make that money back in fees alone, but even with appreciation, I'm gonna have less money at the end than I started with. So here's the secret in my preferred method to actually completely avoid this impermanent loss. Because remember, my DCA endpoint max was 2708. So from that point down, I've just held spot Ethereum. And what I want to do is not change a thing on that. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start by just withdrawing this position. I'm gonna withdraw it to Ethereum. Let's go ahead and get this started. I'm gonna pull out. I'm exiting the position. 14-cent gas fee on ETH mainnet, very nice. When things were hot, it was costing about like 20 bucks to freaking make transactions. So I'm happy things are normalizing here for a little bit. Now Ethereum is very slow. This is gonna take just a second to go through. So I had some comments asking, if I don't rebalance, then what do I do? And this is the superpower right here, guys. When I just withdrew that position, I got all ETH back into my wallet. I've got the 4150 that I DCA'd into down over time in that range. And I don't want to rebalance and sacrifice the appreciation potential of this asset. It's perfect. I've DCA'd it at a good price, 2,700, not perfect. Obviously get those buys at 1,700 is even better, but what I don't wanna do is then open a new position, rebalance a new range, and sacrifice that appreciation for the future. I like that Ethereum that I'm sitting on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus on lending this ETH back out. Now on this wallet, a lot of the lent capital is actually on base chain. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna take $4,000 of the capital that we just withdrew here, and I'm gonna bridge that over to base chain real quick because that's the network that I'm operating on. And of course, my favorite bridge that I've always used here is dBridge. So what I wanna do is get this Ethereum that I have on mainnet and get it over to base chain as quickly and cheaply as possible. Now you could just do this in Rabby Wallet as well. We're gonna see what the cheapest option is. Usually dBridge is pretty damn good. And again, I want to send about $4,000 of that over. But I do about 1.92 ETH. Sweet, it's only gonna cost me about $3.50, $4 there, whereas through Rabby it was gonna cost me about 15. So I'm really glad I'm avoiding that there. I'm gonna go ahead and confirm this trade. And so as we can see, beautiful. We have that ETH over here on base chain already, $4,022. Now what is step two? Step two is, again, I don't want to sell any of that ETH I just got. I'm gonna refresh Aave so it's showing that new Ethereum, and I'm gonna deposit this as collateral because I want to, again, keep that Ethereum, but I do want to get cash flow going. So step one is gonna be to supply this Ethereum, get this over here, and we don't want to do the full amount. We want to keep some gas. So let's do 1.91. And so doing this is going to increase the health on the loan I've already had on this wallet. Go ahead and deposit, boom, boom, boom. And now you'll see I have the $18,000 of Bitcoin and the $4,000 of ETH supplied right here. Now I wanna borrow anywhere between 30 to 50%. I have a lot of Bitcoin in here, so I'm okay with that 50% margin. And because I just deposited $4,000, I'm gonna borrow 2 to take back out into the market and start using that to create cash flow. It's a new position. So there's no impermanent loss because the previous Ethereum I've had, it's staying as spot Ethereum. And this now has the potential, back to 4K, to double. So this $4,000 right here will eventually be worth at least $8,000 because we're gonna get that nice 2X on Ethereum. Even from right now's price at about $2,000, $2,100, that just needs a pump back to $4,200, which is something Ethereum has done time and time again. Well, really at least to that 4K mark. So a clean 2X, and I can take that and run. So what do we do now? Need to borrow some more USDC. So I'm going to go ahead and borrow some more USDC here. And again, I deposited 4K of ETH. So I want to borrow another $2,000 of USDC. Gonna go ahead and borrow here. So for the wallet total, we're going to have 12,000 borrowed. And we're at a 53% LTV, which is a little on the high side, but we're gonna get to cash flowing and get this money back in our pocket. So let's see. Boom, $2,000 of USDC. Now the pool I want to go into is either going to be an ETH USDC pool or even a safer asset like Bitcoin. I always advise that when you're borrowing capital from an asset, you want to stay at that risk level or safer. You don't want to borrow against Bitcoin or Ethereum and go into something like even like Solana or Sui. You've seen how they performed. You don't want to borrow against those assets and put that into meme coins or risky positions. So for me personally, I'm looking to use this in either an Ethereum position or throw it into a Bitcoin position. And I'm going to do just that. So the one that I'm looking at right now is actually this Bitcoin AUSD right here. It's saying 247%. Now the market's pretty inflated right now, but Jake's been running the Monad ETH USDCs for a while. I've had those positions before in the past. I want to take a look at the Bitcoin one. So right here, what I'm going to do is go ahead and debridge that USDC I just got on base chain. Because remember, just because your loan's on base chain doesn't mean you have to operate there. I'm going to go ahead and take this USDC that we got on base. And I'm going to get this onto Monad as soon as possible. It's going to cost me a little bit of slippage, about $6 there. Going to go ahead and give permission. Sweet. And now that Monad has landed, we're going to come over here, look for our AUSD to BTC right here. You're going to go ahead and increase that Monad supply, $2,000 in there. Turn that slippage down as low as possible. We want to minimize how much free money we are giving away. Going to increase this deposit here. Transaction successful. We're going to go ahead and refresh the page. And so I could have went ETH USDC. You guys have seen that a lot on the channel before. You're seeing that with Jake probably nonstop every day as we show his stuff on this channel here as well. But I want to get a Bitcoin position going, a nice Bitcoin USDC that's paying something so amazing currently. We can always readjust this position later to a different blockchain that's paying better or a different position like Ethereum that's paying better when the market starts to get a nice upwards trend. But let's go ahead and take a peek here, see if it's landed. And look at this, we're back to printing. We took that $2,000 and there's a little bit of slippage. Everything didn't get in there. Let's see, we still have, and so some of that money got kicked back to our wallet. We have $18 of AUSD here. It didn't get put inside. That's totally fine right now. We're just gonna go ahead and chill on that. But as you can see, we just created another $12 a day in cash flow. We just created another almost $400 a month in cash flow that we can use to keep buying more Ethereum, more Bitcoin. And what we did was leverage that Ethereum that we just withdrew. We have that over here. We leveraged that 50% and we took that and created another $400 of cash flow. And now what we can do with this cash flow, at the timing of the market right now when assets are so cheap, we can focus that cash flow into buying even more ETH, another 10% a month off that, getting $400, throwing that back into Ethereum. The pool is actually paying about 20% a month right now. I would not expect that to stay. We can use that to cash flow more Ethereum. We can use it to buy more Bitcoin and increase our treasury bag over here long term. Or as the market starts to get hot, right? When the market comes back, this is why this is so powerful. When the market comes back and Ethereum's at 4K, this stuff we lent out over here, it's $8,000. It's worth $8,000 now. When Bitcoin's up 50%, or Bitcoin's got a 2x from 60K up to 120, right? When that happens, this 18 grand is then $36,000. This portfolio will shoot in value through the roof. And what I can then do, because keep in mind, these pools will appreciate as well. These pools are going to go up in value. This Bitcoin one, it's going to increase in value, not a true 2x like the spot Bitcoin would. The Link ones are going to go up in value. These are all going to appreciate. And as they start to cash out into the stable coins, when their job is done, when they're cashed out, when Bitcoin's back at 118, I take the value of these and I can return and pay off these loans. Or I can sell some of the collateral and then just pay off these loans for absolutely free, because these assets are going to appreciate over time. And if you don't believe that, you should not be in these assets, because then you don't believe in them long term. If you believe in these, this is the best thing that you can do for your portfolio outside of rebalancing. Because if you rebalance, you're gonna have less money by the time you get back to that price, depending on how long it takes. If it takes a long time, like say it takes 4 years, or you're gonna print enough that you'll be in profit, it's gonna be okay. But this way, I set myself up to win for sure. If we go sideways for a long time, I'm still cash flowing. I'm still making money in each and every day off literally $6,000 of working capital on this wallet, right? Making $600 a month. That's 10% a month just shy that I am making on this wallet again right here. And that's what I thought was gonna happen in April. I thought we were gonna get a lot longer in April where we went sideways. When I bought the dip down here, I thought we were gonna chop for a long time and the pools were going to print. But because I did this strategy and I was wrong and the market ripped to the upside, just like it may do again, the market ripped to the upside and all my collateral spots on Aave, Camino, Navi, all these places I had that lent capital, they experienced maximum appreciation and more than a 1x because the pools appreciated as well. Plus they're cash flowing. But these lent bags on Aave, on Navi, on Sui, on Camino, on Solana, these lent bags, they get their full appreciation potential. The Bitcoin's got a 2x. The Ethereum's going to 2x. Solana could 3x back to 240. Sui, a clean 5x, 4 to 5x back to $4 or $5. That's where the money is made. The money is made when you go to the downside here and you're buying with fresh capital these assets, and when your pools go out of range, you're using them to desate into more of those spot assets. And then you put them to work indirectly by pulling that equity out, just like you would a home. Little cash out refinance. You're not selling these assets. I don't want to sell this ETH. I don't want to sell this Bitcoin right here. I'm borrowing equity from them against them and turning that into cash flow. Just like you would borrow money to get a home, to turn that into cash flow. That is the secret sauce. So you're set up to win for sure. If the market goes sideways for 4 months, for a year, for 2 years, I am printing freaking cash. If the market goes down, I am printing freaking cash. If the market goes up, still printing freaking cash for quite a long time, up to 118K Bitcoin. But I'm also getting insane levels of appreciation. I'm getting literally the best of both worlds. You cannot get yourself in a better situation than this right here. And this is truthfully, in my heart, this is the best way to play DeFi in general, but it's the best thing you can also do when your liquidity pools go out of range to the downside, especially when they're gone so far. Like the Ethereum was out at 2,700 and now it's 2,100. I'm not willing to be selling any Ethereum at 2,100 in general, much less when I bought it at 2,700. For me, that is an absolute no-go. This strategy right here is a game changer, and it is literally the best thing you can do for your portfolio, for your DeFi and your crypto portfolio. And it's a big segment of what I'm going to teach at this mastermind here in Koh Samui, Thailand. If you want help with any of this, if any of this confused you, if you can see the potential of this and why it's going to make you as much money as possible for sure, no matter what happens next in the market. If we get a 55K Bitcoin coming up, if we get 125K Bitcoin going up, if Ethereum goes to 1,500 again, or if it goes back to over $4,000, this sets you up and primes you for the most success. If this interests you, click the link down below in my description. You can work one-on-one with me, where we have, sorry, about to post my group call here. We have 152 members. 152 members inside. Let me just get this call posted. For the boys, they need to have their recorded call. 152 members inside now, all on the same path to financial freedom that you're looking for, where you can build the lifestyle you want. You can take months off work back home and you can go travel to Thailand, live for cheap. You can live off your DeFi portfolio. This is only $6 grand right here working on this wallet for this example, but it still prints you $600 a month. You can live in a super nice place out here for like $300 or $400 a month. This pays for your freaking stay. And if you're in a portfolio of $60,000, you're looking at almost $6 grand in cash flow each and every month. You will live like a freaking king out here, boys. I'm telling you, I'm experiencing it in real time. So if you want to work with me, click that link in the description down below, book a call with me. We always say the calls are free. We'll take a look at your portfolio, see how we can help, and if you have the potential to be a really good client and we can make a meaningful change for you, your portfolio, and your life, we will do just that. And if not, boys, I will see you in the next video.